The offensive line, it is getting better week over week. Why is it getting better? How is it getting better? What does it mean for the Sooners? Coming up here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We've seen changes along the offensive line over the last few weeks. Eddie Pierre Louis inserted at left guard and is now your starting left guard. Ryan Fodje pushed into action because Derek Simmons' injury. Now you're starting right tackle. This is a young offensive line aside from Jake Michaela and Fabetchi Wiwu. But this is the best the offensive line has played.
Yeah, it is. You're starting to see it starting to gel and get better week over week as the year progresses. I mean, when you watch the Tennessee game, those holes for X-Rod were pretty big. Mm-hmm. He had some nice size holes. Heck, the one where he ran it to the 1 yard line, you know, in some people's minds is, oh, they let him run because they wanted him to go ahead and score. No. That hole was opened and he was gone. It was like, all right, now at this point, is like after he got past to the third level, they were like, all right, let the dude go. No point in trying to chase him down because you're not going to catch him. And him stopping was smart. And they continued the pursuit because they knew that just in case. And him laying down at the 1 was smart. You know, Oklahoma did not do well with it. That's probably one thing we need to get better at is that's a time management component that Brent Venables needs to be improve at is you don't just go and score. You kneel it twice and you score on 4th down. But I digress. We did a good job. The blocking was there. The pass that I've been watching this play like 30 times, I swear. When John Mateer stepped up and he threw that ball to Satania on the side. And it was like you had the deep post run by Jamichael, and then you kind of had a little wheel route / fade by Satania, and he basically layered the pass over 2 defenders right into his lap. Watch the line. You see Eddie Pierre Louis and Michael Fasusi with great communication, because somebody mentioned that too. The communication has been fantastic on the line as of late. You can kind of see it. But they did a stunt, and it was a delayed stunt so well that if EPL had continued the double team on the left, they had their edge coming untouched. So he got there, he disengaged when he saw it was a stunt, and immediately just chested that edge. And it just gave John Mateer a nice window of visibility to throw it right to Satania. It's been fantastic. You're seeing full-fledged growth week over week by this line. That's where the run's coming from. And I think that's honestly where some of John Mateer's confidence is coming from.
Yeah, it's what's been impressive is just the physicality of the group, you know, and we knew we'd get that with Eddie Pierre Louis. I think anytime that you've got true freshmen that are starting, you're always going to wonder, and you're going to want to see what that looks like. But Michael Fasusi and Ryan Fodje, they've lived up to the hype and the expectations that you'd hope 2 true freshman guys that were top 10 offensive tackles in their class would be. You know, it's kind of back to 2023 when Caden Green stepped in at left guard and immediately your offensive line got better. The talent is there. True. And sometimes you just kind of have to trust the talent to show up on game days, and it's showing up. And listen, what Oklahoma has got right now is exciting for now, but also for the future, because 4 of those 5 guys are going to come back next year. So where you've had a lot of offensive line turnover over the last couple of seasons, like that 2023 was a very veteran group, and then you replaced all of it going into 2024, and all of your depth got hurt and injured. Well, you replaced a lot of it for 2025. Well, now you've got a solidified group now to finish the season, and 80% of that group is going to be back next year.
Yeah.
That's encouraging. So all of these reps, the good and the bad, that Michael Fasusi and Eddie Pierre Louis and Jake Michaela even and Ryan Fodje get over the final 3 games of the season, plus the first team reps that they get in practice against the best defensive line in college football, all of this is going to continue to aid their development and get them better as the season goes along, but also prepare them for a 2026 season where Oklahoma is going to have a chance to be very competitive once again.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, as you just said, we actually will return 4 or 5. Like, John, all you need is one more. You need one more guard, and that guard's most likely Heath Ozida. He's going to be the one that's going to plug right there, and you're good. You have continuity on your line that you have not seen in a while. Right? And I know that they really like Darius Afalava. He just got to get healthy. Mm-hmm. He could end up being the next guy too.
Yeah, you're going to have good competition at right guard down the line because, yes, you've got a Heath Ozida that's got a lot of experience and somebody who's played a lot of big ball for you that, hey, he could be your right guard. You've got, Daniel Akinkumi, somebody who continues to slowly develop and somebody that Brent Venables is very high on and people have spoken very highly of that could be in that competition as well. You've got Darius Afalava. And then you've got a nice 2026 recruiting class as well that you've got some interior dudes that could come in and be a part of that competition. But the offensive line is coming together. In the transfer portal age, you want to have some supplemental guys that you can fit in there, like a Fodje who can be a 2-year starter for you, or a Jake Michaela who could be a 2-year starter for you at center. But really what you want is a foundation that's built through recruiting. And that got kind of set back a little bit with some of the evaluations at the end of the Lincoln Riley era, with Caden Green's departure suddenly out of nowhere. That set back the recruiting and the development of the offensive line a little bit. But after a cycle or two, now it's kind of all come back together. Eddie Pierre Louis was a big get in that 2024 recruiting class. It took him a little bit of a year, a little more than a year to really make an impact, but we're seeing it now. Your 2025 recruiting class was heralded by everybody in the recruiting circles and college football circles. And we're already seeing the immediate impact there. And you've got guys like an Owen Hollenbeck and an Afalava that are going to be impactful players for this offensive line at some point down the road as well. So, the offensive line is doing what you'd expect it to do under Bill Bedenbaugh. It's going to continue to get better and better.
Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman. Like, that's the one thing that you can leverage. You've got 3 quote unquote freshmen, 2 true freshmen, 1 redshirt freshman to go with a redshirt junior at center whose he's been stepping up. He's been getting better. And, you get your old head there is going to be Waywu because, he's basically your McKay Matower. Mm-hmm. That's basically who he is for you this year. He's the old head transfer that got his second year in the system, and he's playing better because of it. But yeah, he's another young dude. So you've got.
I think Jay froze on this there, but I also think of like a guy like Chris Murray at right guard who was a transfer in as well, and a veteran that we got a couple years out of. McKay Matayer, now Fodje Waywu. It'll be interesting to see. Do they go to the portal for a right guard to supplement or fill in and take that place, or do they look to build it from in-house, build it from within? I think they've got really good internal options. We'll see what happens there. Jay's going to be back with us in just a second. His internet dropped out, but we're going to talk about Oklahoma and Alabama's opening spread here in just a second on Locked On Sooners.